Hey guys, how is it going? It is Alexander Williamson and I am late, of course. I'm usually 10 minutes late to this thing and I'm always having technology problems. So let me know if you have trouble hearing me or if you have trouble seeing me or whatnot. Tonight the house is very warm and humid and I'm stepping out and I'm out on the porch because the last few streams we've looked like pretty much at my fish nonstop and I've just talked your face off. Whereas this chat, I'm still going to talk your face off. Obviously, it's not a group chat really, verbally, audibly, but I want to interact with you guys more on this one. And jokingly, in the USA, we are getting well, this isn't a joke. It's true. We are getting stimulus checks. So I just got mine in the mail. Which is basically $1,200 for each person, $1,200 for each person in the U.S. And I think it's plus 500 per kid if you're married, and then yeah. So the joke is obviously mine's going to rent, but it made me stop and think if I didn't have to worry about rent, what would I be buying with the stimulus check? If the economy weren't a garbage fire essentially. So it's kind of sparked up some ideas, some cool things I've seen going on in the hobby, some fish I want to hear what you guys are into, and then we'll just kind of chat. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have along the way about anything tonight. It's going to be an open format chat. It's just I know the chat the other night was like so me talking at you, and so I thought this time I'd pull up my computer, we'd look at some products and some fish, some fish entering the hobby that are kind of new to the hobby, at least in mass. People have kept oddball fish forever, but yeah. So let's hop right in, and we can go downstairs. I've fed my shrimp and fish and things like that. So while I'm in the middle of water changes, oddly enough, I lost track of time, and then I had to fiddle with the internets, and now here we are. But I did have time to grab my Dr. Pepper, and I like that a lot of people have just been like, so what's up with the blue fingernails? What's going on? And it's kind of comical to me that there's some big long explanation or story that supposedly needs to happen, other than I was bored and it's been 2 months that I've been sitting at home. And of course I have art supplies and other stuff. But really, one of the things was that I point at things in videos frequently, and my fingernails are dirty when I'm working in a dirted aquarium or one with aquasoil. And so I just figured, I'll paint my fingernails. And then it came to me in my head, is that harmful to fish? I don't know. And then the hypochondria started to spiral out of control. As we are starting off here, I'll turn it around in a minute so you don't have to look at my mug the whole time. We can go back and forth. And if you guys are like, we're sick of you, go back inside. I want to see your red and black tiger bodice. Cody Plant, there's super chats already coming in before I was even up. That is amazing. That is kind, and thank you. He said, I might fall asleep before I get to watch this, but I hope it goes well. That's very nice of you, sir. I appreciate it. British Fish, welcome. Pete, good to see you. Love the lazy weekends. What time is it there? Early morning, late night? Is there a difference? The stimulus check live stream. We're all thinking the same thing, apparently. No, I'm not giving away my stimulus check. It wasn't an actual check. It just showed up in my bank account. It's linked to not E-Trade. That's a stock thing. TurboTax or one of those things. I use one of those. But it's kind of laughable to me. Let me go on a side tangent real quick here. If you guys don't like those, you picked the wrong channel to watch. Somebody was like, I love your videos, but I think maybe the best way to watch them is on 1.5 times or 2 times speed and just listen to the audio and then stop it if there's something cool on the screen. And I was like, yeah, that's probably perfect. I'm definitely not a WikiHow page. I am somebody who is speaking alone, a monologue, unless you're commenting, in which case then it is a dialogue or trialogue, omnilogue. That's many, tons, all the people. omnilog. Is that a word? I hope it is. Omnilog. So it's an omnilog vlog, and the vlog format allows me to be myself and just chat with you guys. And if something comes to mind that's out of order, I'm not editing slides here or, you know, hiring someone to illustrate a figure drawing. I'm just going to have to get back to it. Or if my fish do something like, oh my goodness, they colored up red and they're spawning and doing barrel rolls, I'm not going to say, hold on, this doesn't go with what I'm talking about, let's not watch it. Like, of course we're going to watch that. So I just thought I would address that. I'd address the fingernails and then the stimulus. Pete, thank you, brother. A $2.99 chat coming from down under. And I appreciate that. If you haven't checked out his channel, check it out. Muppet929. Wow, I didn't realize it's Friday. I thought it was Thursday this whole time till I read the chat. Yeah, that's happening to a lot of people. Got some shrimp from Lucas Brett's. They got mine pregnant. Super happy. That's awesome. You know, that's rare. He usually makes sure not to do that. So he must like you. He must have a special it. You've got an it factor. Sure. All right. Let's see here. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Rico de Gaio, how are you doing, my friend? Hello. Fake name, of course. Hello from up above or down below. I guess I'm below you. You're up above me. Sarah Brittingham, hello. Hallen Bowler, hello. Fishy Fun 57, how is it going? Oh, experienced one. What's my go-to fish food that for fry? Like dry? I would say that oh, dry. You corrected it right there. VB23. Well, I would say, and someone says, ahoyo, mateys. Hi, mateys. WTF MRB. Ahoy hoy, that's how Edison wanted us all to answer the phone. Also, let me just say, Zen Ginger and Ginger Graves. Ginger Graves is in here as the moderator, the illustrious and lovely moderator who does things before I could even think to ask for them. What a sweetheart. I love you for what you do, and I love you as a human being, so thank you. But my favorite dry fry food is actually from Aquarium Co-op, which is local to me here in Seattle. And it's just called dry fry food. And it's mostly rendered salmon, like salmon that's been shredded at like a canning or processing plant. I think like guts and other things, innards, if you will. And then I think it's got some spirulina and some, maybe some like wheat or some sort of filler, but not a ton. And it's great. It's very, very, very fine. Really, it's a dust or a powder, smaller than sand. And it's great because even shrimp will clean it up, snails will clean it up. But when it falls to the ground, it doesn't sit there and then mold in lumps like some pellet food can do. And so it doesn't really raise the ammonia much. Now, it doesn't feed a whole lot other than it keeps their metabolism going in that it feeds frequently, but you should probably be giving them something of substance or live food or Daphnia or brine shrimp, something like that, beyond the fact. But it works great. And for guppies and let's call them simple to breed fish, it will work the entire time. I mean, I feed the adults it also. It's just it takes them a lot more to do that. All right. Ginger, how is it being a pharmacist during these crazy times? Yeah, that's a question. All right. Man, I needed that. Dr. Pepper Cherry is the drink of the evening. Fish Tropic. Hello. Oh snap, your neighbor is live too. Who's my neighbor? Alright, I'm getting caught up. I'm almost caught up with you people. That's the problem as we grow. I lose being caught up. Alright, let's try to flip this around. What is a good digital or infrared thermometer for tank? I can't reach the floating ones anymore. You know, it's kind of interesting that I think the little dollar ones are fine, totally fine. I really do. I think that the ones that are, like I said, $1 work great. Or I think they're like $1.99 online. I can link to it. I think I may have linked to it in the description of this video even. Go to the description and see if I link to it. Let's see here. I'm trying to get this on my computer screen, focus on my computer screen so you guys can see things. So we can all browse together. By the way, say hello to my little friends. Gnome 1 with the watering can, and Gnome 2 with the mushrooms. Really, what more do you need in life? I don't know. I just don't know 'em, guys. So, I was gonna say, yeah, I know nobody can read this small type. It'll be pictures that we're looking at, don't worry. But I was gonna say that I think it's a catch-22. Hair 1986, hello, welcome, and I hope... is New Zealand down under too? Do you guys take offense if I say down under? You blokes. I know, you know, my British and English friends don't mind bloke, but down under, maybe that's specifically Australian, from Melbourne, Perth. And can you guys hear me? Like, there's cars that are going by at ever so often. Those who are ignoring the mandatory isolation lockdown thing, but they should be not too. All right, so we mean Noam Chomsky. Interesting guy, by the way. Alex, I meant on the floating tank thermometer. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I've seen a digital floating one. All of ones I've seen all just stay in one spot. And they're digital, but I usually just, honestly, I have them floating in my tanks, but I use, and I think I would recommend this, it's great, is the digital infrared trigger one, and I can show you guys that one in a bit when we get up and look at some fish tanks. But basically, it looks like this is cut off, but it's really not. That's just the bottom of the laptop right there. Is that the infrared ones are great that have a trigger and look just like a little laser gun. Super great. And you can take the picture, or you can take a temperature of the fish tank from across the room. If you know that your fish tank runs at 78 and the glass is 76 usually, or 74 or 72, whatever it is, it can be pretty cool to use those. I like it. I can check all my tanks sitting in the corner and doing something like that. So I like those digital ones, and I swear I had a link to one of the best gifts under 20 bucks, because I think mine was like $15 and it works great. All right, New Zealand is down under, so we don't get offended. All right, that's good to know. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. Right on. All right. So, you know, what came to mind right away was stimulus check. What are we supposed to do with it? Now, ideally, I don't know how all you guys stand financially. I don't need to put it towards rent. I do have some spending money, you know. Obviously, I have this channel. This channel affords me to buy fish, to trade fish. And I have the exciting announcement that these are going to be appearing in my house very shortly. I will be getting Pygmy Sunfish from a friend here who has some U.S. source Pygmy Sunfish. And, yeah. These are going to be Gulf Coast Sunfish, I believe, the strain I'm getting. They're young, so they may look more like this at first. But they're Gulf Coast, so the Gilbert eye, like this. They can color up this much. That's probably, usually in these pictures, they have a flash on, and they're kind of overstating how much shimmer you get, or turquoise versus just flat. Most of them kind of look like this a lot of the time. But I'm really excited because they're the size of a baddis, and they have a lot of personality, and they establish little ranges, and the males then square off and spar without killing one another, which is fun. I always love fish like that, like whether it be pea puffers or thread fins are another amazing fish for watching, or also rainbow fish, pseudomagil furcata or gertrudii. Those ones will, they kind of do a, what would you say, a West Side Story knife fight almost, like, or that Michael Jackson music video, Beat It, when they tie each other's wrists together and then they have a knife fight while they're tied together. It's kind of, they go in these circles. There's some videos in my past archive of stuff where I've shown them squaring off and puffing up. And Aquarium Zen, the store locally in Seattle, who also posts online, they have some artwork that is two thread fins squaring off, two males squaring off, all lit up in beautimus. Cheers, whatever you're drinking. I'm drinking Dr. Pepper. It is a really, really beautiful night here in Seattle. It is, the sun's just going down over the horizon, my little tree of life, and I'm looking out over kind of some industrial part of the city, plus the shipping canal that runs to the main lake that our city's kind of built around. And just sitting on the porch for the first bit of this because I got too hot doing water changes and so forth. But, you know, other things, back to the stimulus checks, the stimulus money. What was the name of those fish just turned in? And, oh, well, welcome, Janice Lundberg. Those are Elosoma, but just search for Pygmy Sunfish or Gulf Sunfish. There's actually like 9 or 10 species, are debatably, but I think my pea puffers passed away when my snails were sick. When my snails had that bacterial infection that killed a bunch of my Plecos, the pea puffers also got sick. But yeah, so Pygmy Sunfish, there's a bunch of species. I got my stimulus check already, just to say. I mean, not the real check. Donald Trump wanted to sign it, I think. And so they held him back and had the memo reprinted with his signature, which I think that means they haven't sent the physical ones yet. But if you filed online or through TurboTax or any of those tax services, Intuit, stuff like that, then they should have put it in your account, or they will be in the next couple weeks. 80 million Americans have theirs already right now. So yeah. But I was thinking, what would I buy? And realistically, this is not a time when I'm going to go spend. But ADA, obviously, is premier line of stuff. And ironically, a lot of their distributors are either Singapore, Japan, or Hong Kong. They do have a distributor in Canada. And then UNS. Let's see what UNS's website actually. I will pull up a new website. UNS Aquariums. That's who made my big rimless. Let's see. Ultim Nature Systems. Let's see if they're even shipping, because earlier they weren't even shipping and they were out of like every product. Looks like they're pushing these new filters. Looks like they're shipping. I really like their aquarium. So the new series I'm working on that you guys have seen probably are these. You can tell everyone is at home. There's 6 streams going now, and most are aquatic. I know there's a lot of streams going. Friday night's a popular night. It's the night everybody wants. It's the night that people have money for super chats and that they have nowhere to be, especially if they are fish nerds like I am, or at least they are choosing to be with the fish fam online. And so it's a very fought over time slot, and I decided, what the hell, I'm gonna go ahead and stream. I don't know. that. WTF MRB says we're getting stimulus check every month. Yeah, and you probably don't have Chevy Fish, what is up? You probably have socialized medicine then in that case, so you're not going to get wiped out. Like when I got hit by lightning, even though I had health insurance, we still had over 50 grand medical bills out of pocket in the last few years. So, and my mom had a brain aneurysm. She had $2.4 million medical bill with dual insurance coverage. She ended up paying $300,000 out of pocket. They had to refinance their house and everything. So in America, we have that kind of stuff also that can come into play. I know a lot of places do. There's plenty of places way worse off than America for that, obviously. But what I was going to say, politics aside, the stimulus things aside, yeah, so exactly, you don't need to pay medical. So if I didn't have to pay my medical insurance, even if I had a tax rate, I mean, our tax rate is 27% when you work for yourself in America. You can write a lot of things off, but you kind of, the bigger the company you are, me as a graphic designer and artist, I don't really get to write off a lot. Since I don't own my own house, houses in Seattle start at around $750,000 for the most part. The average house right now is $800,000 in the city. It's not like that around the whole country, obviously. For those of you out of the country, we have one of the top 5 worst or most expensive housing markets. But rent is also very expensive. It's for a 2-bedroom, it's about $3,000 a month in the city. If you get about 45 minutes out of the city, about 50 miles out of the city, you can find stuff that's quite a bit cheaper. I was just in Tennessee and I was like, oh man, we need to move there. It is so affordable. I was also in Canada not that long ago and I thought, man, the way they do healthcare here is so great. I understand yeah, be careful on my balcony. This is where I did get hit by lightning. But it is cozy out here. And my wife's inside watching her television and I thought, yeah. Oh, you're in Norway. That's right. You have is it kroners you guys have? Yeah, housing in Norway. The Scandinavian countries are expensive. Switzerland, it was the only one that I went to that I was like, holy shoot, that is a expensive meatball. Or Moscow. But even in Paris, I was like, this is about what Seattle is. And I found that some things were cheaper. Their food costs more. That's what I noticed the most. Like here we subsidize our food a lot. And our gasoline. Whereas France, obviously, I don't think you have too many oil wells in France, so maybe in Morocco. But one of the new trends, obviously, last few years, is these paludariums or immersed growth. I started, as you guys saw in the last 2 videos, I kind of did it in reverse order. I did one that was an introduction to the concept and showing you guys some of the plants and how you prepare that, how you can get ready for it. Yeah, Cichlids 23, yeah, San Francisco is super expensive also. If you want to live in downtown Seattle, it's on par with San Francisco. We have a lot of friends that have come and gone back and forth. San Francisco and Seattle share a lot of people. A lot of people go back and forth. Vancouver, BC is also extremely expensive for housing. I know that universal healthcare can be awful, but I know people who have also killed themselves / died in our system over it. Or, you know, their family breaks up. It's the number 1 cause of divorce in our country is bills, and the number 1 cause of bills is medical. The number 1 cause of bankruptcy is medical. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. We could argue about it all, but the bottom line is that if you have some extra money, let's talk about what we'd spend it on. Let's dream. Let's dream with me as we are locked down all around the world together. Together, alone, together. Seeing all those hashtags and things. I love these. These are nice and cheap. These are just little, basically it's a little motor. But it's just, they're selling it as a power head, but you can use this as a filter. You don't need a filter if you have enough plants and good substrate that is kind of like biomedia. Or you could even just put a sponge in the corner, and as long as water flows through it at some rate, that will do the trick for you. But what I'm finding, and what a lot of people like Lucas Bretz have found, is you do not need filtration on a very old and well-established tank. I've had the filtration cut out on 2 tanks downstairs now, and let's see if they're selling any new species of aquatic tissue cultures. I've had that cut out on me now, and they've stayed alive just fine, which is very interesting to me. So, ooh, that's pretty. That's probably... So, side note, when you see plants and they're in a tissue culture, unless they're literally underwater in that tissue culture, they are going to be in their immersed form. And it's kind of confusing because immersed really just means terrestrial. Like if you were to grow it in a pot, like a garden up on land. Whereas submerged obviously means submerged underwater. Immersed technically means that the roots are still underwater in the soil, but in a muddy soil or an aqua soil. And maybe part of the plant is underwater, but most of it is exposed, that the fruiting bodies and the leaves are exposed. So that's the definition we're going with here tonight. And I've been making several immersed setups because it's very inexpensive. You don't need a filter or a heater. You just basically need a container and aqua soil. So I'd say I would go buy some aqua soil. The bummer is that Japan and China are really the places that make most of the aqua soil. And they use volcanic ash as well as fertile soil, and then they enrich it. And some of them add humus, which not the food, but rather a stringy slash spongy amalgamation of old plants and animals broken down biologically and full of carbon and nutrients. They'll add, which can cause ammonia spikes, like in the ADA Amazonia, the normal one, that will happen. In the ADA Amazonia 2, however, they don't have that. So you'll still get some nitrate spikes, but there's no straight ammonia spikes. All right, let's see. We'll look at a couple things. Then we're going to go downstairs and we're going to poke around at the fish, bug them. For you ravenous fans, I don't know if fans is the right word. My friends, you guys are my friends. Okay, so rare and exotic, let's go straight there. Or we could go to tissue culture. Let's go to tissue culture first. Tissue culture. Is this not clickable? Well, that's silly. All right, view tissue culture plants. So this is what I would spend some money on probably. Even though I'm out of room, I need a new aquarium first. I would love to get a big 120 gallon, but we gotta wait until we get a house, which is on hold. But all of these plants are in their immersed form. And see, they now have all the different forms of the Alternanthera that Rhynicia. So they have mini, which is cool. And then the Rozen Vig, which is the, we have that in my tank upstairs. And that's the one where, honestly, I would buy this in stem form. I would not buy it as a tissue culture. Tissue cultures, like I said, they're their immersed form. So they have to then adapt into the aquatic form. And some plants have a hard time doing that. Now, Anubias, all day long, you can throw them underwater and they're just fine. Wow, look at how the Snow White has come. How much are they selling a rhizome of the Snow White for? That's how I would buy it. The rhizomes with Bucephalandra and stuff are great. Let's see here. Really? Oh, maybe they don't have them. They're just teasing us? Is that what's happening here? Why can I not clicky? rhizome. Is it showing up below and I just don't see it? Well, in theory, UNS/ADA has all these new species. Most of these are ones we know. Rotala bonsai is one of my favorites. Pogostemon erectus is great, but if you're going to get Pogostemon, stamon, I would recommend getting, let's see what happens if I click this one. I would recommend the Downoi, which means morning star, or star of the morning, I guess, in Thai, I believe. And it has a beautiful red color mixed in with its leaves. Well, apparently this website is useless. So, is there even a way, find a retailer? I thought that they would show us, let's say, I said Chicago. I don't know why tonight for where I'm at. Just thinking that that way it would alert everyone in the center of the country equally. Okay, so I guess we can't get specs on what they're running for on UNS, but I would definitely go with more CO2. I would definitely, these tanks have gotten bonkers. But the problem is they're all coming out of China, and so, boy, that is, I mean, it looks nice, but I feel like after a while you'd be bored with that tank. It'd be very empty. But the ones that I like are some of these tanks that have risers. See, this is so uninspired. Why would they do this? You're paying $2,000 for some of these tanks, $1,000 for a tank, $500 for a tank, and they don't even have a picture. They just have dimensions. I mean, inspire us, guys. Come on. Yeah, and see, they don't even have... Where... the thing I was looking for, it... Maybe we'll find it in gallery, which is the most useless place to find it. But yeah, so these shallow tanks are becoming very popular because you can grow plants and have your animals in the bottom still, but you can grow them right out of the water. And I love the idea of the tank flowing into the room. I think that right now, while we're locked down, so to speak, or on quarantine or isolation, if you are, I mean, if you're watching this, you probably are if you're in a developed nation. But I just find it pretty interesting how I just feel like I feel more relaxed in my soul. When I have that, when I have nature spilling out into my room. But as I look at all these things, I'm not looking at them as if, hey, I'm going to spend, for this rectangle with no rim, I'm going to spend $1,000 and another $1,000 on all the guts, the filters and things, and then $1,000 on the stand. I'm not joking here for this one. That's $3,000. I'm going to go to the dollar per gallon sale, get a 55 gallon instead, and we can rock that out, you know. If you really want to get rid of the braces, you can on some of them. I wouldn't on a 55, but I wouldn't have on some of the smaller sizes. So I like to see what's new. Like the other thing they sell are these riser aquariums where it looks like a stepped, like doot, 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 and then that way you don't have to slope your substrate. It's built in tiers. And I think that's a new style. That's something that I'd love to show you guys, like a paludarium or something of that. But I can't right now. Aquatic arts, since they are my biggest supporter as far as I work with them the most. I've seen how they operate. I know all the people in the company, and they are the people I choose to work with. And I can get you guys the discount. Plus, I think they have fair prices already. Let's check out what they have because, like I said, this is a fantasy thing. They're carrying Brightwell now. This was actually, I told them, I was like, hey, please carry Brightwell. It's a really good product line. I would never buy everything in it. Maybe if you're doing some of the very expensive, like $50 shrimp, right? You could, but you can usually throw cherry shrimp in just like tap water and add a little bit of crushed coral and a plant. And if you really want to make them happy, dump in a plant from another fish tank and they'll be happy, you know. But now they have all sorts of formulas for their shells and formulas for their bioaccumulation of bacteria that keeps their stomach digesting, and another one that keeps their shell from being too brittle, and one that makes their shell more brittle so they don't get stuck in their shell. It's gotten kind of out of control, and I don't think we need most of it in the hobby, but some of it's interesting. Oh, they have these back in stock. I love these. These are one of my favorites. These short-nosed algae eating shrimp, I would totally, if I were not just spending my stimulus check on rent. I'm not really stimulating the economy by doing that, because you know the banks are going to get bailed out in America, and so are the insurance companies and the mortgage lenders and all that sort of thing. They always do, or not always, but I mean they're FDIC insured and things like that. So really, the stimulus check is like, here, pay off your utilities or your car payment. And I hope nobody does that. I hope everyone just goes and buys like a 40 of malt liquor, like 1,000 of them, at your local store, and the money stays in our local economy and small businesses. But I'm very happy to support local. Oh wow, so they have all their shrimps in now. Looks like almost all of the ones that I was looking at recently. The Babaltis, which David, who owns the company, personally breeds. This Neocaridina line originally was from, I guess it's like 15 years ago now, like 2004 or 5. Some of the first red cherry shrimp in the country that now he's bred into these beautiful buggers and have proliferated out into the world. But the Bloody Marys they have are very nice. I would get some of those. I've kind of given up on blue bolts because they've died on me a lot of times. Any fidgetiness in the water conditions, and they're just like, what? I'm dying. But, oh, for some reason, chat has just disappeared on me. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't mean to be an ass and not pay attention to you. Let's see here. Lost of our I want to get CO2, but I'm not sure where to buy it. I would get it at a weld shop. That's where I get mine, and it's very inexpensive. I'm a fan of the $1 per gallon sale. Yeah, me too, Ginger Graves. Hey, let's show Alex some support. 45 watching and 20 thumbs up only. All right, I agree. Fishy Fun 57. That's fun to say out loud. I haven't really, I mean, I haven't amused you. Are you not amused? Are you not entertained by me sitting here and showing you what I do with my free time as I dream about various purchases I can make on the internet? Is that worthy of your likes? It's really not. But I just felt like I wanted to call my friends and chat with y'all. Chat with my friends. Their orange sakuras are really more of a yellow, and they're just like banana-rama amazing. I got some of these downstairs too. The golden backs. And then my blues are all from Lucas Brett's, which I think are the best in the country if you get his A grade. And that's what I rock. I rock the A grade. And then I have other things. I ordered from Shrimp Fever in Toronto. Oh, cool. So they sell out. Oh, wait. Are you Fishy Fun 57? You're up in Canada, aren't you? You're not in the States, are you? Fish Dream says, I'm entertained. Well, you're my favorite, Fish Dreams. Okay, let's see here. See how this channel works? You can give me praise, flatter me, and I will cater to you. They have the craziest selection of crayfish, crawfish, mud bugs, whatever you want to call them. They used to have the blue CPOs, which I really wanted. What's CPO? Certified something officer? Something in the business world, right? chief personnel officer. But yeah, some of these Sherax Bosemani's are just wild and beautiful. They used to have, is it still up here? Yeah, this is a real crazy one. It's sold out, of course. But look at this beautiful purple and blue and orange, and look at that. These things are mean as hell, though. They will just shred anything in your tank. I'd love to see an Oscar in one of these. Wow, that's one I haven't seen before. That pink one. This is one I used to have. I had to get rid of it because it would literally swim up and kill everything else that I had. They get big too. They're like, let's see, how big do they get? 3+ inches. I think they can get like 5 or 6 inches. Yeah, so 6 inches is their average. The biggest I've ever seen is probably like 7, certain subspecies. The red ones and the wild ones. So if I had lots of money, I'd get a tank with one of those. Maybe if it was one of those, you guys seen those tanks that are, yeah, you could eat it. You seriously could. People do. Those tanks that are super tall. Like, they're just a rectangle with a square footprint and then a tall rectangle. And I've always been like, what the heck are you supposed to put in there? Like, jellyfish? No, it's not rounded. Like, jellyfish need rounded tanks. But I've always wondered about that. But maybe you could put a crayfish at the bottom and then put, like, some pea puffers at the top with a bunch of, like, nausea grass or something in between them. Let's see what they have as far as nano fish. Because they have not made an announcement that they have all these new fish in, and I am very excited. Oh, they have the dwarf chain loaches in, the botia loach, or botia. I love them. I plan on getting some pea puffers again, those of you who just asked. Smudge spot cories, love them. Scarlet Batis, the Dario, aka Gem Batis. These are also amazing to watch to breed. They're a good one to start with. These black tiger batis that I have downstairs, they're really they're my jam. So I like them a lot. And oh, you guys, please don't go buy anything online. I'm gonna buy these. 6. Oh, they're kind of expensive right now. But they have Panda Loaches in, which is incredible because they're only caught from the wild in China or raised in the wild, or from the wild. They are raised with, what do you call it, hormones. And you can get them sometimes online. But if you do buy something from them, these are my favorite fish of all time. They're very teeny. They will live completely peacefully with shrimp. I've never had them eat even one baby shrimp. I've literally watched and done experiments where I put the baby shrimps in a holding tank off to the side, like a fry catcher, and put one of them in there, and the Panda Loaches do not bug them. It is incredible. They're so sweet, and they eat a lot of crap that you don't want in your tank either. Is the tiger batis similar to the scarlet batis? It is. It's bigger. It's a little more aggressive, but not. I mean, it's more aggressive in that it's a bigger fish. It's maybe 30% bigger than the scarlets. But my scarlet, when they color up, the color really is incredible on some of them. Now, see, these are another really fun way. These Gertrude blue spot rainbow fish. These guys puff up, and they do they show off for people watching. But if you do buy from Aquatic Arts, who I heavily recommend, I love them, and I want to kelp. I want to kelp heap them open during this time, because they're buying from local suppliers as much as possible too. Local breeders, clubs, things like that. Like all their angelfish and stuff. Oh, they had Ivan Stobbs. I didn't see that. But sparkling Gouramis are another fun one. That's a very small one to play with breeding. Blue Madaka rice fish. Love these. I have some blue Indian rice fish. They're not technically like that blue, but they do look nice. These brilliant white neon tetras are incredibly beautiful. Words cannot describe it, nor can pictures. But watching a school of these is just, I mean, they just glitter. They've got that silver glitter. Plus it looks like they've got an LED of light in their eye and in their tail. I love those things. They're out right now. But yeah, use the code Secret History 15 or Secret History 10 to get your 10% off. Ignore that 10% off. And then you'll get entered into a giveaway because we're going to be doing giving away $100 like we always do. I do that every few weeks or months. I will do that, and we'll just give away $100 gift card. I think Ginger's been someone who's won. A few of you on here have won. Maybe not the 100, but we also do 50 and 25. And just for me spouting that they exist, and me buying their fish at cost. So basically, I get to buy their fish at cost usually. Sometimes they'll send me a couple free things with an order. Like if I spend $100 of my own money, they'll then throw in something. But really, I just promote them mostly because I think they're a good company. I like them, and they give back to the hobby and to us purchasers so much. Oh, they've got lead weights back in for setting up aquascapes. Those are always handy. They've got a lot of booths in right now, and they've got Whirly Rotala also. This stuff used to be $100 for the frickin' plant. It's in its immersed form, so if you're doing a vivarium, riparium, something where the plant is out of the water or at the water level, tissue cultures are always a good call because they're already in the form. You don't need to transform them. But if you buy something like a Ponageton, it's not going to be able to transfer at all, unfortunately. This Rotala Rose Red, Rotala Macronda, I bought some of this, and it's beautiful. I'll show you guys in a second here in my house. In my house. And same with this oval Ludwigia ovalis is really, really pretty. I like, oh, it's sold out. Of course it's sold out. Why wouldn't it be sold out? Now you guys are going to buy all the things I want because I'm flipping through what they have. Don't get too frustrated on their website because they do list everything they've ever sold. So it looks like they've got 10 pages of sold out stuff, but really it's a backlog. So I want this. If they can get it, then they're going to get it as soon as they can. Right now, supply lines are just dreadful. So that's why I'm just shocked that they have Panda Loaches. I'm wondering if that's an error. But use that code Secret History 10, no spaces, all caps, and make sure you get entered into the drawing to get some gift cards. Plus, a lot of times if they see that you're with this channel, every plant says it's sold out on here. Something's fishy. Let's see what they've got. I bet they're doing some updating on their site. Maybe they don't have those things they said. But they do have a nice section that is their... so if you guys haven't seen it before while we're here, they also do, if you adopt a homeless pet from like an animal shelter, any good reputable animal shelter, the owner David will give you $50 gift card to this place, to their aquatic arts, just because he wants more animals off the streets, spayed, neutered, and loved. And that is just the craziest offer. He gets nothing out of it other than he's happy to see that. So things like that, things like their homeless shelter and battered women's shelter donations, amazing. To their teachers, they'll sell you things basically at cost if you're a teacher and you're putting a tank in the classroom. They've also rallied people to you know, source all sorts of supplies that you could have needed. Newest arrivals, here we go. These were the fish that I wanted so badly. These slim, long fin half beaks. I wanted these really badly, and they sold out like instantly. Of course they did. And then I also wanted, they had another red stripe one. These were great too, though, and I don't know why nobody bought them at first, but at least they're sold out now. I hope I didn't feed you guys a lie and that they're not starting to like shut down or something. No, they still have some stuff for sale. Here's plants for sale, even though they go up on their other things. So maybe check back their website later. We're gonna go inside in a minute. We're gonna look at some fish, and we're gonna look at what in the heck I did. I'll give you guys a sneak preview of my little vivarium, riparium, arium, barium. White neon is not the same as albino. It has color. It doesn't have. It has no. There's another chemical in the skin other than pigment that has to do with opacity, and they don't have that, so they're clear. They're like a glass catfish, but they still have the iridophores, which are those cells that cause, the shiny fish scale look. I always use the discount. It helps cover the expensive shipping. Yeah, definitely. And don't buy something if you're going to buy $10 worth of stuff. That's just silly. Like, the shipping is bananas sometimes. So, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop inside, take a look at a couple things that I gone and done did. All right. Alex, what did you gone and done did? So, first order of business, Crypts had another round of babies, and they got mold, which is the same thing that happened with the angelfish. And look at all this nausea grass I've grown. It's insane. I just let the nausea grass grow. I haven't trimmed it for a while. And now we have a bunch of it. By the way, in a low-tech tank, this is that ovalis, right there, it's cut. The ovalis, Ludwigia ovalis, that's what it looks like. Whereas the Ludwigia, the normal one, looks like this. The rose-colored one looks like this, even in a low-tech tank, and not in highlight. Low-tech, no ferts, basically, low light. And then the super reds will appear more like this. Which is just a faint red hue. Hello, honey. Where did you go? Oh, sorry. My wife left the house, and I thought that maybe the quarantine police were going to kill us or something. What I would recommend, though, guys, for a thermometer, seriously, instead of these floating ones, I still have them as like a backup. It's kind of like, now cars have cameras, but you're still going to have the mirror on the car probably. I never trusted the mirror or the camera. I still turn around and wait. But this thing is great. You can turn on the backlight too. Let's see here. You can turn on a laser so you can see what you're pointing it at. And then you can turn on a light. So it says 79 on the glass, and that usually means it's about 80 in the water. Oh, it was like 87, but I was pointing it at the light. But yeah, with the little laser light on, I can literally see that my tank is 78 degrees, which means, or 77 degrees across the room, which I bet you anything it'll be about 78 or 79 when I get to it. So I can quickly figure all that out. What's weird is it says 83. That's hot. Why are you so hot? The water is kind of low. I'm gonna have to. I'll finish a water change right after this show. That's too hot. I need to cool them down about 2 degrees. This tank does stay hotter because of the angelfish. The angelfish and the tetras and the plecos. But not everybody likes it. The cories don't love it, and definitely the reticulated hillstream loaches do not like it. These Venezuelan cories are fine. It's the other ones that are having a hard time with it. This Rozen Maiden right here. Can I use the laser on it? Yes. Sorry, I just blinded that reticulated hillstream loach. This Rozen Maiden, I love it. This Nuri Crypt. It's got these crazy purple leaves, and then they turn into this like watermelon pattern with like a tiger stripe green over it. Great. Here's another of the ovalis in highlight, so you can see how shaped and defined those leaves become when you do put them in a high-tech setting. This is that Rotala Rosavig variegated that I was talking about online that we were looking at. Yeah, I am ready for tub season 2. Aquatic Arts posted on Instagram today that some of the new items are going to go live on the site. Your cribs have babies too. Right on. I love cribs, thick cribs. So fascinating. Yeah, they take care of their fish, of their fry, so much better than any other fish I've ever seen. What type of aqua soil would you cap with sand? So that's a good question. This all started actually, well, not all of it. Some of it started, I put gravel in first, and the sand's kind of worked its way to the front in the glass because it's finer. But there's gravel in here, and then there's aqua soil, and then there was sand on top of it, if you remember back 6 months or however long since I got this tank. Also, you can see that my Rotalit Vietnam, I can't remember, that one might be, yeah, Atra, is starting to finally get red. It's getting enough light, and it's just gotten old enough. I've really propagated my Persicarius, is really, it's all over the place in here. This is also more of the pink, Logonandra boldi pink European. You can really see that pink coming up in it. The mother plant is kind of, I don't know, having issues right now. It's getting gnawed on by my L138 leopard frog. So I'll need to do something. It's too big for this tank, and I don't have a tank big enough for it. So I got to figure out what to do. The other thing is these are starting to get immersed, and this is just the spirit of immersion, guys. You know, I bet if I stir this tank, is it going to get cooler? Oh, much better. Okay. So the water is getting warm at the surface too because of all of the nonsense going on. But nobody's going to have ick in this tank, that's for sure. So what I've been doing in this tank is I've been moving things aside for propagation. So just so that everything has room to kind of grow and propagate. And then I've also been cutting the colorful tips off of some of the Rotalas and things like that. The angels are starting to get mean. You guys remember I bought them when they were all the size of a quarter, and now they're real mean. It's funny how that happens. And so I'll have to kind of split them up. I was really hoping that they would pair off evenly, and they did at first. These two are paired, him and her. Blue one is the female. But these two won't pair off. They all want to pair with him, including this other male. I don't know what his infatuation is. I don't know if there are homosexual angelfish, but I got them if there are. What is the temp on the bottom of the green floating thermometer? I'll go check that in a sec after I show you guys something else. Have I kept Acilus aquaticus? No, I have not. Let's see here. Infrared thermometer says it works best from 8 inches from the target. Yes, Jared, you're totally right. It does. It works best like right up on it and in low humidity, but it's pretty darn accurate. I'm just saying. Just saying, guys. Over here, you can see, no, you can't. I need a flashlight, and my best flashlight is literally my phone. Let me go grab the flashlight. The flashlight. Don't say flashlight. That's no good. Really? Cut me a break, universe. Watch, this big one won't work either. So prepared for the apocalypse. Okay, let's see here. We did get a new printer, which is exciting to me. Okay, I have batteries. I have a flashlight. We're going to make this happen, guys. Make this happen. And I can show you what I wanted to. Sorry for the delay. The delay. What's the delay, yo? This is a good book, by the way. It's just basically an encyclopedia, if you remember those, what those are. Oh, of course I need triple A's. Why wouldn't I need triple A's for this gall darn thing? They're gonna pick the obscure battery that costs me more money. And I need 3 of them. And for some reason, these LED lights, I bought 3 in a pack. They just suck. These lights, if you'll see them in a sec. I got them at Walgreens. If you see them, they're made in China, obviously, and they sell them at a lot of different chain stores, but they're just crap. But they'll do in a pinch, but they're crap. It's not Scottish, it's crap. You guys don't mind my crazy rumblings. There we go. Let there be light. Hallelujah. Also, I need to plant some of my seeds. All right, let's see here. We've got the microscope. I have a whole bunch of footage from that microscope that I was going to share with you guys too. But first, I was going to show you guys this. So this I put together. There's a video. Don't worry. You guys saw the first intro video, but this is a little vivarium that I put together. I'm worried that it'll get algae. This is the first part of the experiment, is trying to see with the immersed growth if all this algae already on this established stick is just like gonna stay balanced, or if it's gonna blow up and the whole thing is gonna need help because of that. But I've got a Java fern, I've got 2 types of Bucephalandra in there, and then I've got Limnophilia aromatica, with the purple underside, and yellow little flowers. We've got a wispy Matingrosa in there, and then we've got a Ludwigia arcuata and Ludwigia exlacustris, a Rotala bonsai, and a Rotala mini. And then we also have a Taiwanese nymphoides lily. And that is the only true aquatic, as the lily. So it should float right at the surface. They stay relatively small. But I just wanted to show you guys like what I've kind of put together in here. And the way it's stratified, I've done stone, then aquasoil, and then on the other one downstairs, there's also a cap of sand. You can cap it however you like. Just make sure you get the roots down into the aquasoil, obviously. And then you just don't want, like, see how much space is here? That's why there's bigger rocks down here. I don't want the aquasoil. Yes, the roots will get into this, but I don't need a big area that has no oxygen, that just makes sulfuric bubbles that cause problems and can make this the fishies sickies. But some of this stuff I feel like is just not. It's just, oh, and you can see the shrimp in here too. You guys see it? There's one in here testing out the water, but right here, this little majigger, I haven't decided for sure where to put it, if it's even going to go in this tank, but it's got the Java fern that's not doing so hot, but it'll nurse back. And then it's got this beautiful moss that's growing in the typical Christmas tree moss pattern. But so far, 48 hours and this shrimp's doing fine. So that's good. And then from the backside, this is obviously the world. It's an inverse, so it magnifies and flips it. So that's the thing there. Let's take a look, see if there's any babies. Are there any babies, guys? No babies. They ate them. You guys ate your babies too. They have a new leaf. They've turned over a new leaf right there. It's brand new and clean. That's where they're going to have babies. I am floating these plants for that bowl over there that you guys just saw. And we'll show you downstairs how this looks. But so check this out. This is the Ludwigia eclacustris. As it grows up, it looks like a spiral, like a helix. but it's got a nice bronze underneath. And contrary to what a lot of people would expect, unless, you know, you're a gardener and so forth, plants, a lot of times aquatic plants are more colorful in some ways, like their stems, not always their leaves, but their stems and things are way more colorful underwater, which is just interesting. Like this plant is not variegated out of water. It will look, I'll show you what it looks like out of water. It's very boring. The only way to properly identify this Hygrophila sunset, which is a pest species locally, is to put it underwater. And check out like this Ludwigia glandulosa. Which one was this? The red star, maybe? So it might have been the red star variegated. But the underside is red with the red veins. The leaf has the red veins. When this grows out of the water, I'll show you what it looks like. It's really cool. But it's like you get a whole new set of plants when you do that. And the other thing is, CO2 is really hard for plants, for growth and things, to get underwater. And so, especially when you don't add CO2, like your petite nana stays very small. And it grows slowly. Plants grow pretty slowly underwater, with the exception of milfoils and, you know, lilies and things that are aquatic plants. Likewise, this plant, if you submerge it, it's no longer variegated. It's very odd. I don't know what the deal is. Somebody talk to God for me. I need God on the phone, stat. All right. So, here it is. We've got, this is the Hygrophila. It looks so boring, right, guys? But yet, the piece that's still underwater has some nice little pink banding on it. What the heck? And then here is that Ludwigia. Now, it's hard to tell the difference when you take a glance and you think, okay, they both have kind of red, pinkish stems. These ones are really red underside. But this one has those... the spade-shaped leaves. That's the big tell. Also, we have a Malawa shrimp in here. One pregnant Malawa shrimp was put in here, as well as one pregnant blue dream originally. That's all that went into this 2 years ago. And I've showed you guys this before, and some people shriek in horror when I show them how I do a water change, or how I add water, how I take care of this thing, is I literally do that. Ta-da! No dechlorinator or anything, I just top it off. And let's see what the temperature is. 70. So it's warm in the house right now. The house is 70. It was a warm day. It's probably almost that warm outside still. This is another new one. This one has... Kabamba furcata, which has these beautiful purple cornflower, bluish purple leaves, or flowers, I should say. Then we've got a super red Ludwigia, we've got a bacopa, and we've got a Ludwigia glandulosa, original, like wild type. We've got the Signanthium bellum, and we've got... let's see what else is in here. A few different rotalas, a pink Vietnam, purple Vietnam, and they're really just kind of buried in here. Oh, we have Bacopa colorata right here, and we don't know which ones are sturdy enough and will make it out. But then we also have Hydrocotyle verticillata, the little parasol plant, which is awesome when it grows out of the water. And the thing is, these are all going to compete for coming up out. But the morning sunlight will give them some light, and we'll see who wins. Also, the thing that I like is that, so the moss, you can see here, it's grown just kind of stringy and crazy, and this growth is very compact when it's out of the water. But, and a lot of these plants just look completely different. I don't even know what that is, but you can see the leaves are very different here. They're like... a very nice spade shape. Let's see if we can find any of the blue shrimp. There's other blue shrimp in here. And then we've got like the fire moss that's growing in these long wispy things. Peacock moss too. and Christmas moss and Java moss were all put in here. I wanted to see what would happen. But the moss has grown kind of up to some of the plants and things. And then up the wall, basically. And here we got a big area for rooting. In here, this is all moss now too, with Daphnia that are living just fine. And then here, we've got a few kinds of moss. We did have Hydrocotyle verticillata, but I stole it and put it in here. Now, we don't know which ones are going to survive coming out, but then there's also Crypts. These need humidity, so that curved bowl will be key. And the fact that the good chunk of them, we've got a pink flamingo or a pink panther, and then we've also got a Kerala. Kerala, like India. And so I wanted to show you guys that. Man, the angelfish are fighting. My wife is here. You want to be on TV, honey?
No thanks.
Okay. Anonymous. She says hello, everybody. If I lose you guys, it was real. Much love. And thank you for tuning in. I know this was a random, like, he didn't say anything show, but I needed my peeps. I'll do a history episode soon also. What do I do for a living? I am an artist. I am a graphic designer. I am a tattoo artist. That is a Tauntaun skull from Star Wars. I know that's weird. Mount Baker. That would be an osprey skull, closest thing to the Seahawks, the Seattle team. St. Bernard skull. Or no, pit bull. That one's a pit bull. Human skull with serotonin pathways artistically drawn in. Seahorse skeleton. I like animals, as you can see, but I do a lot of other stuff. Crocodilian. My wife's old puppy that passed away. Well, he wasn't a puppy when he passed away. But yeah. And then I do some digital art, like this gets read, and it says the words I love you from a recording from when my wife and I met. And I do a lot of photography, including for graphic design of products and things. I also do illustrations for coloring books, for botanical novels, things like that. Or botanical novels, botanical publishing. I've also had a lot of gallery spaces. I'm live again. I reconnected. So yeah. You need a panda. I'm so happy. Oh, your girl's in the hobby. That's nice. Oh, we got another super chat. Where did that happen? How did I miss it? What happened? Oh, WTF. 55! Is that kroners? Norwegian kroners? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Brah, brah. Here we are now. Entertain us. Griffin started 15 minutes. See, a lot of people I don't know in this hobby, so if there's someone that you think I should team up with or I should do a live stream with, just ruthlessly go on their site and be like, yo, you that I listen to, check out Alex Williamson, or hit him up, or tell me to hit them up. And I would love to do some collaborations with the hobby lately. Other than Lucas Bretz and Dustin and Rachel O'Leary early on, I haven't really done any lately. Been very isolated, and then with the lightning strike and not feeling well and the lupus, it's been a crazy year. Plus then I got married when the channel was starting 3.5 years ago. 4 years ago. And then so this is a female. Someone asked the difference between the black and red tiger batis. And here's a male. And they usually hang out and wait at this weird angle. Now these guys were in the dark before I came in here, so they're not as colorful as they should be. There's the alpha male. He's got nice blue fins and very angular fins and a blue mohawk, which makes him extra awesome. Like, what's the name of that guy on Hook or Pan? Rafficio. So you guys saw my other baddis. These are my scarlet baddis, and they're just chilling. A lot of snails are being born in here, so clearly I'm overfeeding. These are about ready to give birth, I think. Wait, no, not this one. This gal will be a cross of species. But let's see. Oh, I just knocked off one of the pregnant females, of course, because I'm a jerk. Of course, I'm beating up pregnant shrimp. Alex, you big ass. Come on. Shrimp. So, this one right here is about to have these babies. In fact, tonight it looks like she's had some. Come back, come back. Alright. Now we got her where we want her. These are the Red Riding Hood shrimp from Aquatic Arts. So these ones have little eyeballs. These eggs. I don't know if you can see it. They're not bright yellow anymore. They're hatching tonight. So we'll see if the baddest bug them and eat any of them. But we've got 4 pregnant shrimp. See that band on the tail of that one there? Of that red one? Of the Bloody Mary there from Aquatic Arts. These are their Bloody Mary. Not good. That band means that she didn't have enough calcium when she formed her last shell. Or there was some sort of cancerous type error. And that now she has a deficiency there, and so when she tries to climb out through her shoulder, her tail may get stuck on. And she's pregnant, and so she may not have molted. She may have held off on molting, and that can be very dangerous in itself. They can just crush themselves from the inside out and die. They don't expand like they need to. So we'll see what happens. But I wanted to show you guys the baddest. Alex, there's a Facebook fish tubers page for America and Aussies. Fish tubers have their own fish tube page. Regular time people stream. Lots of bonus streams. Yeah, I know. There's so many though, and crowds overlap very differently. Like I've got a lot of Aquarium co-op crew, and then I've got a lot of Lucas Brett's crew, a lot of Bentley, because I introduced Bentley basically. I mean, I did a tour at his house before he had it that was up and doing much of. I don't think it had any videos, even though he was doing stuff with little articles. But then also the other one, Bob Steamfought Aquatics, and Rachel O'Leary. So those are the ones that I overlapped with initially. And Oddball Aquatics, Primetime Aquatics, I seem to get lumped with sometimes. So people tend to kind of go between us. But then there's other people that, oh, and JH is the other one. But other people never ever see my channel. So so I would like to meet up with them and kind of chat more. I'm trying to show you guys the male. So finally we have a male Baddis. We have 2 that are going to try to fight for it. So in the coming days, I will film any fights that I see. This one has the best color so far, if you can make that out. You see the red banding and the blue coming in. So it's definitely, it's going to be a male. It's not going to be a sneaker male, but it's smaller than this one that's starting to get stripes. And what those are is those are born as female, but they have Y chromosomes. In fact, this one is amazing. If I can get her back, even though she's turning into a male, you can still see the yellow eggs in her belly. Well, look at it on the playback. You can go back later. But it's pretty crazy. I don't know. I think that evolution is nuts. All right. Also, my mini tinny winnies, my gold ring Daniels, they're growing up finally. Joined the pack and doing well. This tank, everything melts and grows algae. I don't know what I did to it, why it hates me. All the bettas are in here, all the babies now. And they're all just chilling. Some are really, really, really small still, like, half inch, I'd say. And some are over an inch, almost 2 inches now. Like, that's the mom. But some of them are an inch and a half. This one's well over an inch back there. And you're not seeing their color the best right now. That one's bright purple. But yeah, and then we've got some of these beautiful white ones that came out with the blue eyes and an iridescence. And some have blue, some have, there's another bigger one. Some have the dark blue. And then the other ones that we're getting are some white ones that are marbled with blue eyes and smoky marble color, but no fin color whatsoever. So I don't know. The genetics are real kooky on this. I'll definitely be selecting her and him, the blue-eyed ones. And see, the striped ones are more likely. Oh, look how beautiful these tin winnies are. I know a lot of people think that they just are silver or copper fish with dots, but when you look closely, they are just incredibly beautiful sometimes. The rainbow hue, and then you get the purple and reds in their fins, or yellows, depending on their mood. I love them. Up here, rice fish, everybody's doing fine. Rice fish should be carrying eggs soon. I don't know what's going on. Also, the fire and ice guppy that I got from Lucas Bretz right here, she had some babies. So that's good, because I wanted babies. Then my shrimp culls, got some blue shrimp culls, and one is pregnant now, which is great. And it's the gal with the nice stripes. Then we also have some of these big short-nosed algae-eating shrimp. And then we have Malawa shrimp in here too. And they're all breeding, living with their nano friends. Here's a baby. Just fine. Just fine. No additives or anything. Just chilling, doing their thing. And the erythromicrons are all still growing up. They're in the back there, hiding, getting their stripes. Looks like most of them are male. I didn't take note of the temperature and everything when I was breeding them, but most are male. I should have paid attention to the pH and the temperature, because it really does factor into what you get out of your box of chocolates in life. And then the yellow shrimp, last I looked, there were 2 or 3 pregnant buried ones out of 13. And I see 1 buried, 2 buried, 3 buried, 4 buried, 4 buried instead of 2 now tonight. So they just went through another spawn cycle. And then over here, dun, 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 look at all the shrimp that I have. They're all really shrimpy shrimps. There's a million shrimps in this tank and it's not very clean. Yeah. Look at all the shrimps. So these shrimps, I'll tell you, they need to get a job. They just eat my food. There are probably 300 shrimp in here right now. I don't know. Count them. I mean, just start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They're hard to see because they're clear. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I mean, there's so many shrimp in here. For the love of Pete. And their mass, there's literally just piles of them, by the way. Just continues across the entire tank. Oh, we've got planaria. There's probably a dead shrimp somewhere in here. We've also got a lot of pregnant ones still. So there's nobody for me to sell these to right now, which is a bummer. That and half-beaks. If you're breeding half-beaks, please let me know. I only have a couple, and I want to get some more. And I don't care what the species is. I love them just the same. These are golden wrestling half-beaks. And I have 2 males, and it makes me frustrated because I want many of both males and females. Actually, I have 3 males. And then they'll breed. And then these are the koi Guppies, and these are the Somfongzi rasboras, which I need to breed more Somfongzi rasboras. I sold all my extras, and symbolically I keep the 3 that are in here because there were 3 brought back from the brink of extinction, and that, like, they used 2 males and a female. Aquarium glazer did to bring them back from what they thought was extinction at the time. Yeah, more planaria. Boo, hiss. But right here, I mean, just look at all these shrimp. it's kind of gross. They're kind of like cockroaches. This guy though, this guy, I'm telling you, my Pandagara, he's out and he's eating all of these planaria. That's why he's out. He'll probably come through here and eat all those soon too. So I don't really have to worry about it. Also, in the mail, just got a brand new bag of Amazonia ADA, if you didn't see the new videos on it. And I'm working on even more immersed growth for out in the garden. I want to get a half a wine barrel, or maybe even just like a tire rim. I'm sure my wife would love that. Oh, some of the Plecos are out finally. But I'm growing more Ludwigia glandulosa right here. And look at all the runoffs. And even some emergent growth starting. So that's pretty cool. And also, we've got Arcuata underwater here. The Taiwan Nymph, Taiwan. More of the Crypnuri, but in a lower tech setting. See the difference? You don't get that purple. You don't get the banding as strongly. It's amazing what high tech and low tech settings do to plants sometimes. Here, this one is the red morning star, and it's beautiful. It looks like a pastel rainbow as it comes to the top here. And then over here, we've got all my snails, my snails, and my little fry, and a bunch of shrimp that my other guys eat. Look at the size of this thing now. It's getting pretty big. I'd say it's about 7 inches across now. And the Salvinia what is it? Salvinia, it's not divinorum. It might be minimea. Is doing crazy, starting to do really well. Red root footer's not as much, but that makes me happy. And as everyone else astutely noted, the bong. I've got some. This I did sand, Amazonia. There's no fluval. They actually have switched up so that Amazonia now has various sizes, which is great. It's not all one granular size. And here, this is a really dark experiment that I don't know if I told everyone the truth on. But I haven't opened this jar in 2 years. But this one has the dead body of my beloved Panda Loach entombed in it. And I wanted to see how many critters burst forth from it. And all this duckweed, all this stuff came out of its stomach. It's really gross, I know. It's really morbid. I will probably never open it. It'll probably just remain sealed. And there are planaria in it. There are seed shrimp in it. And there are amoebas and all sorts of other little teeny dots moving. So that was all in the stomach of a fish, which, I mean, that's how it gets in your tank, I guess, a lot of it. Here, this is just, this was just planaria. So I had a little jar of planaria and mulm, and then maybe, I think I put plant in it that melted a crypt. And now there's just a billion seed shrimp in here. And I guess they eat the algae. That's it, and the mulm. No planaria left. That's over a year old now, though. And I would never open those because I'm way too afraid. But yeah, that's about the size of it, folks. I hope that y'all are having a good night. I hope that this brought a little bit of entertainment or something to do on one of the channels. And like I said, also, thank you to my new I don't have channel members yet, but thank you to the new Patreon people. That lets me know, hey, I got 3 or 5 or 10 or 20 or however many dollars people want to throw in coming next month. And that means that I have a budget. You know, it costs me about $300 to run the fish room and tanks a month in food and upkeep and, you know, changing out substrates and filter floss and broken things. And then anything extra is either traded or bought and sold from my critters. And then I try to update hardware like CO2 or new gravel vacs or whatever it may be. Fun toys like laser operated thermodynamic level readers, temperature takers. This, a bunch of broken rocks. I took one big rock and I just busted it up by throwing it against a rockery a bunch of times. Neighbors probably thought I was insane and just like losing it over like, I can't take the lockdown. It's definitely nothing like a prison lockdown, so I wish we'd stop calling that. Oh, and I'm also growing, I forgot to tell you guys, black. They're called blue. I think they're black. Ram Snails. I had gold and gold with the pink insides here. See, they're a beautiful gold. And they have a bright red pink. But they're not pure gened. So right now there's some bronze and brownier ones that aren't even pink bodied. So I'm like, come on now. And some of these baddest are just never going to grow. They're like a year old, and I've just conceded they will never grow. All right, guys. So thanks. Also, if you want some of my art, you can also check out. My actual website. I used to have one where I sold more merch and my books and my art, and I have coloring books. One of scientifically accurate for the most part, scientifically accurate mushrooms, both edible, deadly, and psychedelic, all intertwined. And it's called The Fungus Among Us. It's probably still on Amazon. I don't know. I haven't sold any in a while. Like I haven't personally been out and about selling them or promoting them in a while. And then also the psychedelic coloring book, which was one of the first. You might remember there was one called Mandela's that was out, and one called The Enchanted Forest that was out in about 5, 6, 7 years ago. Before all the others kind of came to be. Oh, we got another pregnant bluey right there. Yay. But yeah. So in here, I've got a bunch of coloring books, probably. Yep. Art supplies. So, the psychedelic coloring book. I should list where to find these because I don't even know if they're for sure on my website anymore. But Soma Ink Designs, Soma Ink with a K, designs.com. This is all either tattoos or snowboard art or murals that I've done. And the line art from them. There's a octopus taking the top off, causing volcanoes to explode in the Cascade Mountains. This is when my aunt died, cancer fighting blood cells, or I should say the other way around. That's that original picture you saw in the other room. That's the line art from it. This is nothing, but everyone seems to take it very erotically. This is a cat evolution with the cat skull, the house cat, the leopard. So you can see this stuff's all pretty psychedelic. This is another one with neurons and blood cells going to a rhino. And all the proceeds from that stuff went to rhino conservation. It's kind of risky. Yeah, they're covered. I like the cosmetic megafauna. This one was a back tattoo I did on someone. One of my favorite back tattoos. It was all color. This is cuttlefish breeding, starfish taking over planet Earth. And this is human sushi. So it is an octopus eating a Japanese fugu chef in California rolls, I guess. This was a snowboard. Another back tattoo. And this was another snowboard. So that kind of stuff, that's what I do for a living, if you were wondering. And I do murals and package design for things. And I am a free contract agent. So if you need something done, let me know. Contact me at alexanderjwilliamson.com. Wait, no. Alexander J. Williamson, no spaces, capitals, anything, no punctuation. Alexander J. Williamson gmail.com. The old website is now defunct. You'll have to go to somainkdesigns.com, which has a little bit of everything. My photography, my graphic design, not much of my aquatic stuff, but a lot of my commercially available stuff. All right, guys, thanks for sticking with me this long. You guys are the best. I love you, and we'll get together again. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but some sunny day. This is the one who does not want to be on film. Look at how pretty she is. I love her. And that's me when we met almost a decade ago, even though a decade between us. Rob Cradle, my wife did. And she gets to be on film for that because she wanted that coloring book, actually, because we're starting to go so crazy. We colored that coloring book like 30, probably 20 to 30 hours a page. I did really in-depth illustrations, like way outside the lines, like way extra stuff, patterns and things like that. Come on. And then I printed this book myself too. I mean, had a local independent print shop printed. But there's also one about mushrooms, to more about identifying them. Not scientifically, I wouldn't eat anything out of it, but that's the idea of it. Babe, you get to be on film because I found you a coloring book, which I'm promoting. So hold it up, Vanna. Look at me. Oh, there's a nice koi fish, guys. That's the only page my wife... No, back. That's the only page my wife has colored. No, it's this way still. I think I saw it. All right, guys. There's a koi fish. That's one of my first tattoo designs I did for someone. Like, that was some of my first flash that I was like, when I opened a shop, which was up in my attic. That was the first piece of flash on the wall. Here's the other book. Sorry, guys. Since you asked what I do, and some people may not know, Fungus Among Us. And it has Latin names, the setting where you'd find it. There's a nice golden chanterelle of the Cascades. Turkey tail. There's 36 images. Coral fungi. That's actually turkey tail right there. These aren't morels. These are spring morels, or Verpa bohemicus, also found in Germany, but found in Seattle area. Chlorophyllum codes. Red-gilled polyporous rhodaxinus. Mycinia. Gotta love Mycinia. They're my favorite little guys. And we've got a pink Mycinia. They are poisonous, but frogs love them. And then, of course, oyster mushrooms. Plursterus austerus. Oysterizer. That's all I think of. And then orange peel. So yeah, puffballs, morels. They exist. You can find them. Copernus, one of my favorite inky cap. You guys might know these ones, huh? Anybody in the Gulf Coast area or Amsterdam or anywhere in the world happen to know those? Amanita muscaria, these are the red ones with the white dots. These are Liberty caps. You guys might know those too. Laughing gems, if you're in Japan, you'll know those. And if you think you know these, you're wrong. See all the death going on around it? The jawbone and the other bone? These are not cyanescents. They are Gallerina. And I have veered so far from fish. My wife is just cracking up that my friends are fishy people who put up with my insanity and my ramblings. But these are all done with Sumi ink, and they actually have spores of the species I illustrated with in most cases. There are a few I couldn't get the spores of in the original. See, this one has a magic wand. That means they're magical. These grow only in 3 counties on the Washington and Oregon coast. Azarescence But yeah, in any case, also here, I've done a lot of illustrating. There's the version in the book. There was the one I did. So some of these were for scientific reason, others were just for fun. But I'm always working on something like that. Since the lightning strike, my artistic skills have been lessened a bit. My passion for doing it doesn't feel quite as natural, but the aquariums have really come in handy. And a lot of my art just so happens to be aquatic themed. So if you like these clockwork, this is a seahorse. It's all carved out of wood. And if I mess up, I cut my hand and I don't glue it or fix it. That's just that. But if you like mechanical clockwork, sea creatures and things, check out my my Teespring account, which is online, and I'm sure Ginger can throw a link up there if she's still with me. But yeah, you can message me at alexanderjwilliamson@gmail.com if there's anything you dig. I have prints of a lot of stuff too. But alexanderjwilliamson.com is gone now, so it's somainc.com. But somaincdesigns.com is my graphic design portfolio and website. But it does have a lot of fine art and photography that I've done over the years also. So that's that. That's my plug for myself. And if you like that art, you can get it on shirts. I know Ginger has done so. Thank you, Ginger. You're such a great supporter and viewer at Teespring. And there's a link, I think, in the description. But there's all sorts of stuff from iPhone cases to leggings to t-shirts to hoodies. And you can get Corridoras, you can get shrimp, there's a few designs, and they're two-sided, all made in America and sustainably created. All right, guys, I gotta go. I'm sure there's other streams still going on that are doing lots of things, but that's a little bit about me. I wanted you guys to get to know me a bit, and hopefully I can get to know you. A lot of you I chat with on Facebook or just, text or whatever. But yeah, take care of yourself so you can take care of the plants, the animals, and the things that you look after, and the nature and the beauty in the world, and the good things and the helpers. Always find the helpers in the world and the love. And if half of us do half of that, half the time, our world will be twice as good, especially if we paint ceramic bird nests and gnomes that look out of Sculpey, or weird baby with Loch Ness monster head, or dragon head, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I can't help myself. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Thanks again for the super chats. Thank you so much for those of you who dropped me money on PayPal at alexanderjwilliamson@gmail.com. That way, they don't take a big cut of it, 30% plus 30% for taxes plus the 6% in transaction fees. Always appreciate that, but I'll take it however I can get it. I just want you to get the most bang for your buck. Feel free to comment and engage with me. Engage with me personally if you haven't and you feel like standoffish. I'm just a normal person. Take care, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Well, I'm not a normal person, but I'm a person. Bye. Have a good night, guys.